Welcome to Perfect News Analysis channel. I'm Vinit Wahi. This week, as we did last time, we are again going to take up the burning issue of Kabul crisis, which is affecting not just India but the whole world. At the same time, back home, we are going to take the issue of Uttarakhand. Yes, Uttarakhand, the state which was carved out in 2000, about 20 years ago, and which has seen BJP, Congress governments both. But the fact is that BJP has never ever, any CM of the BJP has never even been able to stay there for the full term. So, before we take up these two issues, I would like to ask you, have you subscribed to our channel Perfect News Analysis? What are you waiting for? Please do it fast, because we are going to come up to you every week with some new, interesting, burning issue. We will not go into why this happened, but we will go into the issue as to what will be the implication of what has happened. That is why I am saying, please subscribe to Perfect News Analysis. Now, folks, let us come to the point. We will start first with the foreign issue, that is the burning crisis of Afghanistan. Taliban has almost captured the entire Afghanistan. Now, Americans have pulled out their forces. NATO countries and England have also pulled out their Jawans from there, their soldiers from there. What is happening is that some of their civilians are still stuck up in the land of Afghanistan. Now, how do they safely evacuate them? That is the problem. So, coming to the point, the main issue is, on one hand, Taliban has made it very clear that they are going to depend on China and Pakistan, because China has already, as I said, extended the olive branch, saying we are willing to cooperate with you, we are willing to extend all help to you, we are willing to invest in infrastructural activity in your country. So Taliban has made it crystal clear that they are going to have all sorts of cooperation with China, which of course will not be and never be liked by NATO countries and America, to be mainly speaking. Why? Because if China were given a free hand in Afghanistan, that would mean that the importance of America and the other European countries, that is NATO countries, would slightly be diminishing. Now, that is what America doesn't want, because America, being the superpower that it is, obviously would not like to be regarded as a second to China or whatever. So what does it do? It is waiting and watching the situation as it unfolds in Kabul. Now, Taliban has made it clear that they are going to soon form the government. But the problem is, civilian crisis in Afghanistan is likely to be there for the simple reason that American forces are pulled out. Taliban has almost controlled the entire Afghanistan. Now, China has made it clear they are going to support Taliban. So what do the people of Afghanistan do? They have no option but to willy-nilly depend on the new regime. Now, what kind of regime it would be, how would it impact the world order, whether they would be economically stable or not, these are the kind of things which remain to be seen. Time will tell what will happen. But as of now, as things stand today, Americans are finding it a bit difficult to see this thing that China is having a control. Because having control in Afghanistan means that you are going to get connectivity through Afghanistan to Middle East and the rest of the Europe. Now, which is what the NATO countries, or for that matter, America doesn't want. Because otherwise China will become, we all know that China and Americans, they are now pitted against each other. They want to outscore each other in the game of one-upmanship. Now, so that is the reason why countries like countries of the NATO bloc, that is America mainly, they are a bit bothered. They are just waiting and watching. Now, Biden had made a commitment, his predecessor, Trump had made a commitment that by such and such date we would pull out our forces. But they had not realized that Taliban would gain control over the Afghanistan so soon, so fast, so early. As elected government, it was defeated, which, as I said, Americans had not anticipated. Now the problem here is there are economic issues, there are social issues, there are strategic issues, there are border issues. These are the kind of things which would definitely bother NATO countries, especially the European countries. So what do we do? What do they do rather? They have no option but to wait as the things unfold, as I said earlier. Once the government is formed, because Taliban has made it very clear as of now that they are going to have all kind of partnership with China. So China means China and Pakistan put together. So that means they will be depending mainly on China for all kind of their developmental activities. Now, that is one thing. Secondly, as far as India is concerned, in this kind of a scenario, India has no option again but to wait and see what Americans or the other countries do. But having said it, I must mention it here that recently in Doha, the American envoy had met the Taliban leader who had said that look, we want to have good relations with India. But that said, that has not been publicly accepted or I would say furthered by other Taliban leaders of name, fame. So where does that leave India? That is why I said the other day our foreign secretary is in United States. He made a statement saying that America is watching the situation closely, so are we. So at the end of it all, we all waiting as to what kind of world order it would depend on what kind of a government takes up shape in Afghanistan. We have to wait till then. Back home in India, Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is the state which was carved out only about 20 years ago. Uttarakhand, there have been BJP, Congress governments both. But the fact remains that BJP has never, any CM of BJP has never ever completed his full term in Uttarakhand. Why? There are a couple of reasons for that. One, we have seen often that ever since the Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, took over the reins of party, there has been a tendency to impose leaders or chief minister leader from the central party. Something which has not been liked by the local leadership. Perhaps that is one of the reasons why Uttarakhand, even in this current 5 years term, next year there are going to be elections in Uttarakhand. But so far, the BJP has already changed 3 chief ministers. Now, the current one is the third one. The first, it was Devendra Singh Rathore, then it was Tirth Singh Rawat, and now it is Dhami, PS Dhami. Why have there been such changes, and how would they impact they would impact it one way. Having 3 chief ministers means the development activity in the state of Uttarakhand are being affected. 1. 2, another reason is that, there are 2 reasons mainly. One is Garhwal, other is Kumayu. So there has always been kind of competition between Kumayunis and Garhwalis. At the same time, it has been Thakur versus Pandits there. Now, as of now, at present, in the present regime of the BJP, or the 5 years, we are into 4.5 years already, there have been 3 chief ministers, as I said, this is the third one, and all of them have been, earlier they have been Thakurs. Now, the point is, why did it happen? What has happened? The reason is that first, the BJP government was not able to control corona crisis. 2, despite being warned by experts, by health experts and others that you should not hold Kumbh, they still went ahead and held the Kumbh. And so much so that somebody like the chief minister, the current chief predecessor, Mr. Rawat, he said, we don't care if there is corona, God will take care of it. What happened? Couple of days after he went to Hardwar to check the preparations for Kumbh, he himself was tested positive for COVID. So the point I am trying to make is that people there were not quite happy with the way things went about in so far as the organization of Kumbh Mela was concerned. There were reports of a lot of people falling ill and infection catching on there. That was one thing. Secondly, his predecessor Tirth Singh Rawat, he had brought up a bill which was meant to control the shrines. You have Char Dham shrines in Uttarakhand. So the bill was meant to control the shrines. That is, make a management board which would be controlled by the government of the state. This was something which was perhaps not liked by the central leadership of the party. Perhaps that was one of the reasons why he had to go. Besides, as I said, he was not able to, there were some developmental activities, some projects, some plans which were not executed well in time. So he had to pay a price for that. Then his successor, as I said, Tirth Singh Rawat, when he came, he had to leave within 6 months. Again, because of corona and because of the fact that he was a bit too, he would say a bit too much, but didn't do much in terms of real work. So that is why he also had to go. Now, elections are due in Uttarakhand next year. What will happen? Time will tell that. But as situation stands now, it doesn't augur well for the state of Uttarakhand, which is still lagging in terms of development activities. The state was carved out 20 years back with the sole aim to ensure that the local people there are given all kind of development so that they prosper. But perhaps that does not happen. And if a party is not able to give one CM for the full term, that is obviously bound to affect the developmental activity of that state. And that is what has happened in the case of Uttarakhand as well. So what will happen? Time will tell that. As of now, it's all for that now. And we'll meet you sometime next week. Thank you very much.